Hey everyone, just a bit of a spur of the moment video because I've seen on my timeline a lot of people doing exams and things at the moment, and they're getting themselves really stressed and anxious. Obviously I felt a bit helpless, so I didn't know what I could do to make things a bit better for them, so I thought I'd just make a video in case just one person gets something out of it, who knows. So even if you're not doing SATs, if you're not doing GCSEs, A-levels, whatever, there are various times in our lives when we have to do exams or tests, and we can work ourselves up into quite, a state of panic. And I've had to do lots of exams over the years, whether it's been music exams or just the normal school exams or exams to get into different career paths and things like that. So although I would still obviously get very nervous and panic, there are a few things I've found that have helped and have made me kind of rationalise it a bit better. So I'll just go through some tips in this video, see if any of you can get any help from them. Does that make sense? When I was younger, I felt a hell of a lot of pressure to get good results. My brother was one of those freak genius type people. He would always get A's, he would always get 100%, he'd be top of the class. I think for his GCSEs he got 9 A stars, and I think he got 4 A's for A levels, and then he got a first in his degree. One of those guys. So obviously that was a hell of a lot to kind of try and compete with and live up to, even though in hindsight now I realise I never needed to compete with that. I'm my own person with my own kind of strengths, weaknesses, flaws, successes and stuff, so to try and kind of keep up with him was ridiculous. But you know what it's like when you're younger, there is a bit of, not rivalry, or maybe it is rivalry with your sibling, but you just want to make your parents proud at the end of the day, and you want to make yourself proud. So yeah, I found that I got myself very stressed during the school years, and then I had this kind of epiphany moment where I thought, I'm not happy. I'm revising so many hours that I'm not taking time to enjoy being young and hanging with friends, having boyfriends and just being a teenager. And I started to kind of shift the balance a bit. And so yes, inevitably my grades did go down a bit. At one point they went down quite a lot, but then when it came to the exams I still came through okay. And I think balance is key with everything. You just got to put everything into perspective, and just remember what it is you're doing and how important it actually is in the scale of your life. Now, I don't want to be one of these people to say, oh, exams don't matter, school doesn't matter, education's not important, because I think in life you should always try and do your best, be the best you can be and work hard. I think it's good to have a good work ethic, but I don't think it's good to stress yourself out so much that you make yourself ill, or get yourself in an emotional position where you are going to do something very silly. So it's just about getting the right perspective about things. Sorry, this isn't planned, so it's a bit all over the place. So a few things that have helped for me over the years with exams is, when you've got exams and there's certain things you need to bring into the exam room, whether it be, if it's for a maths exam, it's like the calculator, the protractor, the compass, that sort of thing. Make sure you have this ready well in advance, so you're not doing a last minute faff, oh I can't find my compass, or can't find my rubber, or whatever. Make sure that's ready in the clear plastic bag or clear pencil case, whatever the rules are these days, so you're not frantically worrying about that when you really want to be just checking over those last notes. Drink lots of water. This is something that a lot of doctors recommend because your brain functions better, you just function better generally if you're hydrated. They always say bring a bottle with you or have a lot of water before you go in. I understand what they're saying, and to a degree, yes, this is great advice, but if you're like me and you have the bladder the size of a little tiny raisin, it's not quite a good idea, because you'll be then panicking about needing the loo mid-exam, and you don't want to be that guy that has to put the hand up and say, can I go to the loo, sir, miss? So yeah, be hydrated throughout the day, but maybe don't down that drink just before going into the room that you're doing the exam in. I know this sounds pretty obvious, but when you're stressed and you're doing a lot of learning and revising, it's very hard to switch the brain off before going to bed. So it might not be as easy as you want it to be to actually switch off and go to sleep before the exam. So do whatever is needed to, you know, feel relaxed. I don't mean have a doobie or whatever the kids do. Have a nice bath, relaxing bath. Maybe put some candles on and some, for me, classical music's always been very relaxing, so I might do that. Whatever you need to just get in a good zone that's less like that and more just brain food. This is another thing. Obviously diet affects everything about you and how you function and how you feel. So obviously being on a balanced kind of helpful diet can only do some good. And I know some brain foods that they always talk about are things like tomatoes, blueberries, nuts, oily fish, things high in vitamins. So I don't know how much good it will do in terms of, you know, getting a few more marks in your grades, but it will definitely make you probably feel a bit more prepared and ready to face an exam. I'm not a very organised person by nature. If you could see what's going on outside of the camera frame, it's just chaos and mess everywhere. But being organised will help you focus a lot better. So create a spreadsheet or some sort of plan when it comes to revision of what you're going to do each day. Having it into little sections will make it seem less like a mammoth task, and it will just allow you to be more focused on that one particular subject or one particular area that you are going to tackle for those 2 hours or whatever time slot you've allocated. One thing that I do, and I know a lot of people do, is that they do all the revision on all the easy stuff, perhaps the stuff they enjoy, the stuff that they know gets in the noggin easier, and then they're left with that scary task of doing the hard revision, the stuff that they don't really get or the stuff that confuses them. And you don't really want to be doing that, I don't know, the day before the the day before the exam. You don't want to have all the really tricky stuff to do, because you'll just work yourself up and you'll just be a ball of stress because you'll be like, I still don't get it and it's only a few hours before the exam. So try and tackle them near the beginning or mix it up so you're doing easy, hard, because you don't want to give yourself all the tough stuff right at the end when you're at your most stressed. Give yourself breaks as well. I know you think you should just be revising solidly the whole time because you've got so much to get through, but you can just frazzle your mind and get yourself into a bit of a tizzwas. So it's good to give yourself a break, whether it's just be watching half an hour of your favourite box set or maybe going out for a walk. Probably going for a walk is a great thing because you get fresh air as well, and it's a bit more peaceful and serene. Whatever you want to do, but just make sure you allocate breaks within your timetable. If you are feeling really overwhelmed with it and stressed, talk to someone about it. You are definitely not going to be the only one that's finding it overwhelming and stressful. Talk to your friends, talk to your siblings, to your mum, your dad, even your teacher. If you have a teacher that you bond with, sometimes you don't feel like you have that kind of relationship, but there's often that one teacher that is someone that you feel you can approach and just say, look, this is a bit too much for me to handle. And you never know, they might offer to help you or just calm you down a little bit. If you've got lots of exams and you've already had some and you feel like they haven't gone to plan, please don't let that then affect the rest of the exams. Rather than thinking, oh my god, I've messed it up, I'm going to fail, I'm going to get a terrible mark, I'm not going to get into where I wanted to get in, blah, blah, blah. Instead think, okay, that's done, that's in the past, I can't do anything about that. I know this is easier said than done, but really try. And just think, okay, I'm going to try and nail this next exam. Just do all you can to, just so you come out feeling better about the next exam that you've done. You know, things happen, life happens, and things don't always go to plan, but it's kind of how you react to them that's something you have more control over, so just keep that in mind. I know what I found annoying when I was getting really stressed about it all was people going, oh, in a few years this won't matter to you, you know, it's so insignificant in the scheme of life, all that sort of stuff. Oh, it doesn't even affect what you'll be doing in 20 years. But at the time, when you're engulfed in